Hello everybody, this is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. Welcome to a video spotlight and examination of Concealed Intent. I was contacted by a developer and was given a press copy to take a look at this game, and I've been wanting to look at a game of this type for some time now. And I figure I can kill two birds with one stone this way. So, Concealed Intent is a simultaneous turn-based strategy game. Not the easiest thing to say. We need to figure out a clever acronym or a way to shorten that up. What the simultaneous turn-based strategy genre is essentially a niche of the strategy genre. The last major game of this kind would probably be Frozen Synapse from a few years ago. And the simultaneous turn-based strategy genre is not one of the genres I particularly like to play, and you're going to see why in this video spotlight. I don't want to say more fiddly, it's micro, but it's not the same kind of micro you would see in a game like StarCraft or other fast-paced real-time strategy games. But it's probably better to show it while we're talking. So I'm going to load up the first campaign. While I'm pulling this up, please keep in mind that Concealed Intent is currently in early access as of the time of this video, so things you may see here may not be indicative of the current version of the game. I believe the game is going to be out soon by the time of this recording. You can find information more under the Steam store page, which there'll be a link to in the notes below. 1 second, let me just grab a drink. So, what makes the simultaneous turn-based strategy genre different from a traditional turn-based genre is how the game is played and sort of the rules. In a traditional turn-based strategy game, it basically goes, one group goes, then the other. We see this in XCOM, Jagged Alliance, Fallout. I'm not sure if Fallout Tactics was that, but that's a little too long ago for me to remember. But essentially, it's I go, you go. And it leads to so many different game designs. Simultaneous turn-based strategy works differently. How it goes is both sides input their commands and orders for the turn based on the information they have at the start. So if I'm here, whoever's playing the game will have their own information somewhere else out there. After I input my information, I send it to the server or I send it to the game, and we wait for the AI or the other player to input their actions. Once that's done, the game basically compiles both turns and then plays things out. So technically, you don't control things while the action is playing. You're only going by whatever information you have to start your turn. Because of that, it leads to the games feeling a lot more feels almost more board gamey compared to other strategy games. Another big example would probably be Laser Squad Nemesis, which was actually developed by the original creator of XCOM. But that, I think, is even older than Frozen Synapse. So what annoys me, or I guess irks me about simultaneous turn-based strategy, is that it's, as I said, it's micro-focused, but a different kind. In a real-time strategy game, when you're controlling it, it's more about controlling individual units, moving characters around, speed, stuff that happens instantaneously. In a simultaneous turn-based strategy game, the micro is basically how you're controlling these units per action per turn. A good example of this kind of craziness would be in Frozen Synapse, where it's not just you move a unit from left to right. You basically say, I'm going to move him over the span of 10 seconds. I will move him 3 seconds looking this way. Then I will turn him so he's moving diagonally this way for 1.5 seconds. Then I will move another second down, turn him to the right for 4 seconds, and then spend one more turn turning him backwards and let him move into a corner. And you have to do that in a game like Frozen Synapse because how much control is off of the player. It's more about giving these general orders, and then the AI will basically work with them. Now, fortunately, concealed intent is not as fiddly, and that's one thing that I do like about it, but it still has those elements of reading the other player and controlling things. So controlling units, each unit has, as you can see, different abilities. Some larger ships like my guy can launch drones and special effects. These are our weapons, engine, and then a search. Now this is actually very important, plays into the game, and you'll see that in the next turn. So how I control units is right click and I'll set movement. Blue means I'm operating within the span of that one turn. Orange means it will take more than one turn. So how it works is I right click, I left click to establish a command. Now if I want to control him and actually affect elevation, similar to the homeworld games, I right click on the command, and as you can see, I will now move up, down, whatever. If I want to issue a waypoint, I basically right click and we move like so. Hold it down again, we'll move. So what's happening is I'm issuing, and I can also left click to adjust the camera, good old 3D, is I'm telling my ship to move over here and then move diagonally up to go there. And then just to do that here, and just to confirm that we will end this turn, I will move him down there to the planet. Now, really, I didn't need to do that. I just wanted to show off the ways you can basically make multiple moves in a single turn, essentially. Now, my ship, right here, I'm going to move him right there, and once he gets there, I think we will launch these, but not yet. Down here you have hull integrity. This is your health. When it runs out, you're dead. Now, previous and current sig, that is the special part of playing concealed intent. Basically, the higher your signature is, the more visible you are in space, which means that it's easier for enemies to see and shoot you. As you can see, I have a base of 10, and then by using my engines, it's going to launch it up to 25. So, let's actually get this turn going. There we go. So, let's do this. Oh no! Alright, so we've been attacked by pirates. They have not hit us at all, which is good. Now if I can turn the map. Now as you can see, we have no idea who these things are because we have no reading on their signature. All we know is they're an enemy ship. Now if I send my one ship out right there, I'll see them, but I'm basically going to make myself a big gaping or a big wide target that says, shoot me, please shoot me. Now as you can see, my signature has lowered because I'm no longer using my engine, so I have a base of 10, which means that I am very hard to hit right now. These guys also have a very low signature, which means if I try and shoot them, I have a 2% chance to shoot them. That doesn't work. So we have several ways of making this better. We could scan for them, but you can see that's going to raise my signature really bad. And even then, I'm not going to be in distance if we adjust the 3D. So this will just basically be me painting a big old bullseye on me. So let's turn that off. Instead, we're going to launch some laser drones. Now it's going to raise my signature, but it's going to be nowhere near as high as it was previously because we're not going to use my engines. I can use my shaft or flare grenades to lower my signature, as you can see. Basically, if my signature gets down to here, I'm practically invisible. But I don't want to do that just yet. I want to wait until the time is right. So I'm going to click on, I can click on either the units down here or click on them in the UI there. I'm going to move, this guy is basically going to be my Trojan horse. I'm going to move him right there, raising the signature. I'm going to adjust the height. See if we can make it a little harder for him to shoot. I'm going to activate his Omni. As you can see, his signature is going to be really, really high. It's going to be at 38 when everything is said and done. But in theory, he's going to be able to spot these guys for us and give us a target. Now, the only thing that I have a bit of concern about with the UI, I'm not sure what my attack range is. Where is it? Here we go. There, medium pulse. Says that the range is between, looks like it drops off at just under 2,143 kilometers. But unfortunately, I have no idea. Okay, so it tells me there. So you can see the range is dropping off. A visual UI, I think, would be a lot better. It'll be easier to understand. What that would mean is, let's say I put this up, and like similar to like XCOM or like turn-based strategy games, we could pop up like a UI that shows exactly the effective range around the ship. So instead, we'll just have to go by this. So 2303. So that is too close. As you can see, by simply using this weapon, it will raise my signature by 15 points. So I am going to actually move a little bit closer. I will use my flares this time, because I'm going to hopefully prepare for an attack this next turn. So he's going to move over there. His range, again, about a little less than 21. So I'm going to move him over there. Okay, so that's all good. Again, while I'm talking and making these plans, the AI has already figured out what it's going to do this turn. And we're going to see basically whose actions are better as soon as I hit this button. Let's do it. Okay. So they're both using active sensors, which is raising their signature up. Look at this guy. We now know he's a ship. We now have this information. It also means he is actually quite easy to hit. Well, easy in relative terms. We have a 42% chance to hit him. 37 on him because we don't know what that is. Now my signature has been lowered. So I am going to move him right there. You can also right click on a ship. There we go. To get pop like that kind of information up. If I can zoom in, so I'm gonna move there. Actually, let's do that. Now my guy is pretty much good right here. I'll need to move him. My signature is low, so I'm actually going to try and open fire and see if we get a lucky shot. They did get a hit off of me. I've lost 1 point of hull. As you can see, that's going to raise mine up pretty high. I'm also going to get a shot on him as well. We're going to move and shoot. Meanwhile, he's going to move over there and see if we can spot him, while he's going to shoot as well. 40% chance. Let's see what happens. Okay, so he got a very lucky shot on him and basically just ripped him a new one. Now, as you can see, my signature is still pretty low. His signature is very high after moving, and we now have complete information on him, which means he is basically dead. We see him like a sore thumb. He's basically wearing yellow, fluorescent yellow in the middle of the woods. So there's not much that pirate can do to avoid being killed. Now, he's actually so detected, we don't even need to worry about effective range. So he's dead. There's not much he can do to escape us. Boom. Very easy. You get rated, I think, on how quickly you finish the mission. So now I can take things. So there is a campaign at work here. Alright, so they're being attacked. I think we'll do one more mission, and that should be enough to talk more about the game's design. As you can see, the game definitely has a board game-like design too, and that's a big part of the simultaneous turn-based genre. You're basically trying to read the other player, make moves, see basically who screws up first. It's not like a real-time strategy game where you basically have two players performing their own plans, and it comes down to whose plan is better in the sense. So we actually did quite well. We have one more drone. But it is a case of one on what will essentially be 4. Hopefully these guys will come and help us. So again, we have no information on them. I could activate my Omni again. But as you can see, it has a active range of about, it's like a little under 3,000 kilometers, and a passive range there. So this is, it's actually 3,000. And you can see it drops off very much once we get past 4,000. Well, I'm sorry, past like 2,300. So using this would basically make me stick out like a sore thumb. It won't even spot these guys. So instead, oh, and right click to turn off commands too. I'm going to move over here. Activate a shaft. Doesn't even make sense to send out the drones just yet. We want to get close and not be spotted. Alright. And again, because we have no reading on them, it doesn't even make sense to fire. We have a 1% chance to hit them. That's not all that useful, is it? Alright, so let's move in. Yeah, so all your ships share detection. So you can see he has a very high signature. We could probably do a scan with a drone, spot him, and then blow him to pieces. So I'm going to launch one of my drones. Now his Omni, again, very low range. I'm going to move him here, turn on the Omni, and we'll open fire. I'm also going to try and bank on us reading him, getting a fire that way. I'll activate one more drone. Remember, the higher I make my signature, easier it's going to be for them to spot me. And I will start to move him over here. I'll stay in position, and then next turn I'm going to activate my third drone. So as long as he doesn't move, we should have an active read and maybe get the kill. Alright. Come on, get him. Aw. The good news is we've now officially spied him, which means that drone is dead this turn. So we have another unknown there. So I'm going to move him over here. Go for this shot. Again, his signature is now very high. Mine is still very low. I'm going to send out my third and last drone. I can also pull this up there. And I'm just going to send him just like full tilt. Right there. Not going to pull out the scanner just yet. Meanwhile, I'm going to also move my guy over here. And you know what? I'm going to raise him up. And while he's moving, I'm going to basically guarantee the kill and shoot him. It's going to make us very much known. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to shoot him. Keep my signature on the lower side. And we're just going to hopefully let our laser drone here get the kill. Oh, we have one more left. You know what? Yeah, let's shoot him. Nah, let's keep it low. Okay, let's see what happens. Alright. So, we did take some damage. Our signature is still on the lower end. We now have reading on these ships. So I'm the closest, but I don't want to make myself known. We'll move up. Turn on the Omni. And we are going to blast the crap out of this guy. Meanwhile, I want to send you over here. You over here. And we'll see if we can spot him. Actually, we're going to basically do a aggressive action here. I'm going to hopefully spot and blast this guy out of the air or space. Apparently that was actually a good guy. We even needed to kill him. Actually, I want to see that again. I'm trying to remember how you pause. Oh, did we get it because we lost? Oh, I get it. He was an enemy, but we took out the ship and basically made him a friend. Let me see. Trying to figure out how we can... I can't slow it down. So what happened there was with the 42 or 45% chance to hit this guy up there, we basically got the hit there and destroyed him. Meanwhile, the drone was flying and basically crisscrossed our laser drone, who was doing a scan, basically giving us full ID on the enemy. But without his ship, he basically became pacified. But if it didn't work that way, the next turn we would basically kill that guy immediately because we would have 100% read on him thanks to our scan. So our reward is we get more stuff. Oh, we're actually running out of room. So you can see, this weapon does 6, has an effective range a little bit above 1,500 kilometers. This has an effective range of just under 3,000. Has less signature, but it only does 2 points of damage. So I could put multiple drones. You can see we have a capacity limit here. So the small quiet sensor drone. Now if I take out the Omni, basically I lose the ability to scan. But if I'm relying on my drones to do the scanning and my probe, I'm not going to need it all that much. You see, the game gives you these opportunities of how you want to decide what your ship's going to be or what your options are. So this guy apparently has... Okay, so it's... Oh, so that's the weight or the capacity. So I could put one more drone on and basically have a small drone army to help me. But we just don't have the weight for it. Again, we could take a very powerful weapon, but requires closer range. Let's go with this. Okay, so I think this will be our last mission. Oh, didn't mean to accidentally hit Z there. But it doesn't matter, because they didn't do anything. So I think I am going to send out my probe. Okay. So he has a super high scanner, and he has a passive one as well. Basically, I turn this on, he's going to see everything there is around, but it's basically, again, saying, here I am, come and kill me. So, I'm not going to do that just yet. Instead, I'm going to keep his signature somewhat on the low end. I'm going to start preparing. We'll get 2 out. Move these a little bit over there. Okay. Again, we don't know what this base has. We don't know any enemies either. So until we do, it's not safe to just rush in. Okay. If I can get these controls right. Okay. So again, we have no idea what to expect. I am going to start moving in. Okay. There we go. Again, because space is three-dimensional. I can hit backspace to remove orders. Oh wait, hold it down. And we will move over here and see what we can spot. Okay, apparently he's got some enemies and friends, or we have some enemies, he has some friends around. Now we are getting within range of getting enough information to get some powerful shots off. We know he has a beam. We know he has oculation. Now these guys we have no real information on. And the probe doesn't even have a weapon, so we could do a massive scan here. So unless we can kill the base, I believe we win. So I'm gonna move right there. I think I'm gonna use some of my shaft to lower my concealment. Or I'm sorry, lower my signature. I'm thinking of XCOM here. Are you within range? Just about. I think this is good. I want to see what they do. And when we're ready, we can basically activate LiDAR. And we'll see everything around. But of course, if we do that now, he's basically dead. Oh. Apparently they saw us. Now we are within range, I think, of actually killing him. Let's see if we can get an alpha strike. This could also kill me, but let's see what happens. And then just for the hell of it, I'll lower my signature. Okay. So the good news is we now have full readings on him. Okay. The bad news, of course, is that he's able to... There's a good idea that they're all seeing me as well. I think we better get a second drone out. Okay. I'm very high up. Let's try and lower that down. Alright, let's see what happens. He's so close to dying. They haven't tried and killed us yet, so that's good. Ooh, so close. And then our reward, we can load more stuff in. We lost our probe, sadly. So there is a persistent element to the campaign. There are skirmish options, which we're not going to do that, but we'll just head back to the menu. Skirmish, I think there is going to be online play, or it could be available now. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that was Concealed Intent. Again, the simultaneous turn-based strategy genre, not only is it still a mouthful, it is a very niche experience. What you just saw is essentially how the game's played. Now, probably you could play it better than me. As I said, I am no expert of the genre. I like the game. I do think the UI is a little hard to read, I think. Especially, again, as someone who's not a huge player of this kind of game. For instance, I wasn't sure what my own, I guess, detection rating was. Like, what's the chance the enemy can hit me when whatever my signature is, or if I lower my signature, are they still able to hit me or not? Now, what you saw there on that last battle, when they were all shooting and mostly missing, if my signature was really, really high there, they all probably could have killed me in one turn. 100% chance to hit with 5 guys shooting at me, I was dead. But I was able to keep my concealment or my signature low enough so that they were trying to kill me, they just weren't able to see me. Now, as I said, the game is still in early access, but it is going to be coming out soon. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's less fiddly compared to Frozen Synapse, where it felt like I was losing due to very minuscule things like, oh, I turned a half a second too soon, or my character was facing left when he should have been facing up left, and he didn't get the kill. This feels more like a board game, again, with the signature element, and I think it does play off a lot better. And again, because the genre is so niche, you're not going to find a lot of games of this kind. So if you enjoy simultaneous turn-based strategy, definitely give Concealed Intent a look around. Other than that, we're going to end this examination here. If you have any more questions regarding the game, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'm actually going to be talking to the developer on my podcast. By the time this video goes up, it probably hasn't happened yet, but it will be soon. As always, if you enjoy these plays and video examinations, be sure to share them with your friends, leave a comment, and of course, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out game-wisdom.com, where I examine the art and science of games, as well as have a variety of podcasts with all topics and manner of the game industry. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter under GW Bycer to get the latest updates of new content. And you can find me on Patreon under Game Wisdom. Any donations would be greatly appreciated. They'll allow me to keep putting out great content like this. And we can hit some of those goals. I'll even be able to add more for you to enjoy. So again, this has been Concealed Intent. Be sure to check it out now on Early Access or when the game is released. And I will see you all next time with another great game. Have a great day, folks.